Hello Animator, I am Zen and I am here to make your life a little bit easier in this crazy industry. So walk cycles, we all have done them. And while there are many YouTube tutorials on how to make one, there aren't that many on how to use them in your shot. Juniors are very often given walk and run shots at first because the walks and runs are already done in a library. You can just take them from there, upload it in your shot, and voila! It seems like an easy task. However, the ground is not always flat, isn't it? So how do I fix this without screwing up the walk cycle? This tutorial will have two parts. In part 1, I'll show you how to do this using the script that's been created by Dmitry Kolpakov. It's called Reparent. Super useful. And in part 2, I'll show you how to do exactly that, but manually. This is how I used to do it before I found out that the kind soul of Dmitry have made the script for us to save time. So let's go. Let's go step by step and see how to approach shots like this. We've got Tom and we've got our uneven ground. The walk cycle has been pre-made. First things first, what we need to find is, let's say our shot length is 100 frames because I'm lazy, and we are gonna approximately set him the pass like this. So make it, of course, linear so it's consistent. And we want to try to make it as non-sliding as possible. Like we minimizing the sliding as much as we can. This is me doing it by the feeling mostly, and that's all right. That's what we need because we just need to get the sliding as little as possible. And if you can see the Y sinks a bit too early, so you can adjust the rotation Y as well. Yeah, I'd say this is almost there. We can push a bit this. I usually delete the key on Z axis because it should not change the speed that much. Yeah. See, so it feels like it's almost not sliding, but of course it's still kind of going through in and out, and it's not proper. It's not something your supervisor will approve. So let's go to the part 2. The feet. Now we need to make sure they stick to the ground properly. And this is the time where Reparent Tool enters the stage. I will link down below the Gumroad account for this script, and you'll just need to download it and follow the instructions that's provided on the page. It's super easy to install. Okay, let's jump here and select our feet. I hope you all know that it's supposed to be IK legs because you can't do walk cycle with FK. So we selected our IK legs and we're gonna click on Reparent. Let's see what it's done. If you open your outliner, you'll see 2 locators here. Let's see, nothing has changed so far. However, let's try to move our main controller. What? Your feet now do not belong to the rig. They belong to the world settings, which means if you take a look at your feet, you can clearly see on the graph editor when the feet goes up and down, and when you can see where it sticks to the ground and where it's supposed to move. Like here, whatever is supposed to be more flat, that's where your feet should hit the ground and not move. And this makes it so much easier to fix because all we can do is just copy this key throughout all this flat ground. If you're wondering how I'm copying like this, I'm just pressing the middle mouse button, drag it here, press S, middle mouse button, S, middle mouse button. You have to click on the middle mouse button, drag it, and press S. This is another small tip for you on how to copy the keys very easily. However, before you start going on a rampage fixing key by key, do one thing. Find perfect place for the leg to land. Use that key as the main key to copy it across. So you don't have to do the double job. You first go and you find, let's go somewhere where it's a bit more obvious. let's say, for example, here, it should probably be rotated, probably should be a bit up. This is how the leg should land, right? This is the landing pose of the leg. So copy from that key. Don't just copy randomly. Sometimes you can get lucky and it will look nice, but most of the time you'll probably need to adjust the perfect kind of key that looks the best on the ground and copy from it. The way I know what I'm copying, I'm always looking into my graph editor because I can clearly see where the leg goes up or goes down. And one of the awesomest part that I really like is that on your feet you always have this additional controllers that you probably animate, like foot roll, side roll, toe pivot, and so on. In my case, I only animated the roll. But because our locator does not get constrained to those, if you copy the key, you will not affect those settings. You will not affect those attributes, which is super amazing because this way you will not break your walk cycle. Let me go through this quickly. And I'm on my last leg fixing it. I did it off screen just so it doesn't take up too much of the runtime. One awesome thing that you also can do when you are fixing those legs, right? Sometimes when the leg goes up, it still kind of goes through, so you can just pull a little bit the controller up here using the axis. And if you need, for some reason, the leg to go higher, maybe there's some stone or something, you can raise the leg up a little bit more. As you can see, sometimes this might happen, like your leg might have risen too high because there was like a bump or something. So I'd highly suggest you to reparent the root as well, because this way you can also clearly see when the root goes up and goes down, so you can make adjustments on your root as well, just to push it up a little bit where it needs to be pushed up, and nicely make it into a good arc. To adjust also your translation Y for the places that needs to have slight adjustments. It will work the same if there is some lowering of the ground and the body might need to have a bit of extra pushing up or down. So after you have done all this, you can take a look on how your walk cycle looks like. Looks pretty cool. It's all sticking to the ground, nothing is sliding, and it looks legit. What we can do next is to get rid of all of this. Select all of your locators and click under the advanced button, make delete. Sometimes there is a button here. In my office, I have a button over here that says make and delete. Here at home, I have make and delete here. I don't know what's the difference, maybe different versions. There you go. You have all the keys baked here and all of it works just fine. And now, for all of you hardcore animators, let me show you what the script does, or what I used to do before I found out this script exists. Step by step again. First step is actually the same as the step that we did in the previous part. You need to adjust correct height, correct timing for your thumb to walk, right? So this should do. Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn on the linear. Very important. There you go. We have it as least sliding as possible. Step 1 is the same. So step 2 is where we click on our Reparent Tool, but let's imagine we don't have one. What do we do here? What we need right now is locators. Step 2, locators. Let's create one. I have them on my shelf, but also it's under create locator. We will need 2 for different legs. You can rename right leg, left leg if you want, and it's more convenient so you don't lose them. Now we need to align this locator to the leg. How do we do this? Well, very interesting trick. let's find constraint, and we find the parent constraint. We click on the square button to get the settings out of it, and most of the time we have this ticked on. I'll suggest you to untick and watch the magic. So we need to select the leg first, and then we select the locator first. And if you click apply, you notice what happened is that it's not just constrain our locator, but it also aligned it perfectly with our leg. Let's try one more time. First we select the leg, then we select the locator, parent, child, apply. Boom! Super easy way to align something in your animation if you need to align one control to another. Of course, if you don't need the constraint on the leg, you can go and hit the delete button, edit, delete by type, constraints. This way you will just have a locator aligned to your leg without the constraint. However, I'm gonna press Ctrl Z, we do need the constraint. Brings us to our step number 3. Right now you can see that the locator is perfectly following the legs. But if you remember the Reparent Tool, it was opposite. The child was the leg, not the locator. So what we need to do, we need to switch them around, right? How do we do that? Baking. We go to the key, find Bake Simulation, open it, and make sure you untick Smart Bake. I know, again, usually we use everything Smart Bake, but sometimes we don't need to be smart. Click Apply. We are selecting locator and clicking Apply on the baking. What it did just now, it made our locator follow exactly what the leg does, exactly the path of the leg, removed the constraint, and made it independent again. Which means if right now we use this locator and we select our leg, go back to our constraint parent, you can click this time maintain offset. Usually we use it with maintain offset. In this case it won't matter, but please click it on so you don't forget it. And we're gonna click apply. So what happened now, again, you don't really see much visual changes. It feels like we're really doing nothing, but we just created exactly what the Reparent Tool did. It made the locator the parent of the leg, and your main controller is now have no power over your IK leg. You can do exactly the same on the other leg, which forgot to bake first. You have to bake it first. Key, bake, and now we're doing the constraint. There you go. You can do it for any IK controller, works like magic. And now all you have to do is exactly the same procedure where you use these locators to make them stick to the ground. So I guess I did a bit more of a poor job here than part 1, but it still stands. You adjust the locator and you copy that key throughout the lens where the locator is on the ground. Voila! It's exactly the same method, and all you would have to do after you have done fixing the leg, instead of clicking bake and delete like in the script, you will just have to bake the leg yourself again. You can just go again key and click bake simulation, and it will bake it. Most of the time it does remove the constraint, but if it didn't, you can just remove constraint yourself, and it's gonna preserve your animation. And of course, nobody deleted the locators for you, so you'll have to manually delete locators. That's why I said the Reparent Tool is a bit easier and faster to use, because it's doing a lot of clicks for you already. However, it's exactly the same method, and if for some reason you cannot install Reparent on your computer, or maybe your offices are very strict with adding additional scripts to the system, you can always use this cool manual method. Does exactly the same, just extra few clicks. I wanted to show you exactly what the script does step by step. I believe that if you understand what it does, you can find more clever ways how to use this in your workflow. The Reparent Tool have saved my ass many times, so I hope this will become a useful tool in your workflow as well. And that's it for today. Please like this video so it makes me feel good and motivates me to make more of animation content. You can also suggest topics and maybe even problems you run into while animating. Who knows, maybe I can help you to fix them. As you know, I'm a full-time animator, so I can only make these videos once a month. So if you don't want to lose this channel, please subscribe and stay healthy, animator.